Hey everyone, Eric here. This isn't going to be a regular Kessel Run show. This is just kind of my hot take on the Hasbro fans stream from yesterday, February 1st. Matt and I recorded not too long ago, so it was kind of silly to get on and make a whole show of this. But I just wanted to run down kind of my 2 cents on what we have released here. So first up here we have the Vintage Collection reveals, and we have removable helmet Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi. And they had revealed him as a pipeline figure before, so he was kind of to be expected. But yeah, this is our first time getting a removable helmet Vader in the Vintage Collection. And I remember when they first did a removable helmet Vader back in Power of the Force 2. And that was one of those figures that just blew your mind because, back in the day, in the original Kenner years, we never had one. So I remember him being one of my favorite figures when he was released in Power of the Force 2. Since then, we've gotten a couple of them. And I believe the last one may have been, and I'm just spitballing here, but it seems to me I thought we had one in the 3 3/4 inch black series with the TIE Fighter helmet background. I think that may have been the last removable helmet Vader we had, and it may have even been a repack. I really don't remember. He has a swappable hand, so you can do the hand that's cut off. Very, very cool. Some people have had complaints with them using a Hayden Christensen type face, or sometimes they kind of make it a little bit of him and actor Sebastian Shaw. I don't think this one looks all that bad. I would prefer if they tried to make it movie accurate, which is not Hayden Christensen. But, he's all kind of scarred and beat up, and when you're talking about something that's this small, the likeness, you can kind of fudge it a bit. That one will definitely be a pickup for me. Likewise, with the second Vintage Collection figure, which is Admiral Piet. Again, we knew he was coming. We've seen preview photos of him before. Nice to finally get a updated officer. The last really good articulated officer we had was Captain Nita back from the Legacy series, and you find him, he goes for a pretty penny on the secondary market. I only have one or two myself. One, I did a head swap with a Power of the Force 2 Admiral Piet. So I already have a custom one, but I am definitely picking this guy up. Looks pretty good. From the photos they've shown, it's a little difficult to see if he has any knee articulation. It would be downright wrong if he didn't in Vintage. But I think they just hit it very well with the baggy pants that kind of goes over the front of the kneecaps. Of course, the problem with officers like this, with the skirt on the uniform, you can't make them sit, which is always a problem, especially if you want to do the conference room scene. The only officer we've ever had that has been able to really sit is the Vintage Collection Tarkin, because he has a cloth skirt. That has its own problems because it really stands out as not looking quite right, and they have to get the fabric to try and match the color of the uniform. Very difficult to do. I don't really know if there's a perfect solution to that. Next we have Return of the Jedi Han Solo. Again, kind of knew he was coming. He looks pretty good. I'll be picking him up. I always have had a problem with the torso crunch, I guess you would call it. I don't understand why they have to ball joint that awful crease across the middle. It stands out something horrible, the same way it stood out really bad on the most recent Lando and Lobot and Bespin security forces. It just, some people it doesn't bother them. They want that extra articulation. I don't know if I've ever said, boy, I really need this guy to bend right in the middle of his torso to pose him. So that I think looks horrible. The rest looks pretty good, and I'll be getting him and put him in a trench coat, and there you go. You have trench coat Han. Next, we have a repack of the Weequay, which not much to be said about that. It's just nice to be having a re-release of a figure that I know the word iconic gets thrown around a lot, but I think just about everyone remembers this guy on the skiff, more so than the Weequay skiff master. Everyone kind of remembers this guy. He was one of the original. It's nice for him to be coming back out because he goes for a fair amount of money on the secondary market. Next we have, oh, I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, more clones. So we have a Phase 2 Clone Trooper. This is a new sculpt. I believe it might be an entire new sculpt, because the legs don't look so long and spindly. I don't know. I don't really need clones that bad, but might have to pick one or two of them up because it does look pretty solid. Next, we have Clone Captain Hauser, and what can I say? It's another clone, specific character, maybe some specific paint apps. He's from the Bad Batch, and I don't really care. Nice for the people that collect clones, but my gosh, that can be like a collection in and of itself, just clones. Next, re-release of Starkiller Vader's Apprentice, and once again, this is a good idea for a re-release. Something some people might not have, probably goes for a decent penny. So nice to get him out again. Then we have a Phase 2 Clone Trooper Battle Pack, Army Pack, you'd call it. The 212th. I will never remember. I'll remember the 501st. Anything beyond that, I don't remember all these numbers, but I am assuming, judging by the color palette, that this is the Clone Squad with Cody. So that really does it for Vintage, at least as far as their actual reveals. Next, we get into the Black Series. I'm going to run down through that pretty quickly because they're not really our wheelhouse. But they're going to have a Star Wars Celebration exclusive, Revenge of the Jedi Darth Vader. And this is a little bit like the Lava Darth Vader that's all red or red glowing. It looks like it's a little bit of red splashed over black. So maybe if you're a collector and you need to get every figure or anything with Revenge of the Jedi on, this might appeal to you. I don't know who else this appeals to. Usually figures like this, when you do, these solid colors, or, I don't know. I don't know who wants this. No. Moving on. Clone Commander Jesse. More clones. Great if someone wants to get all the clones. KID Monday, fan channel exclusive. KID Monday's looking pretty good. Nice for the people that are lacking Jedi in the Black Series. I am a little frustrated. I'd really like to replace my my original Phantom Menace / Power of the Force 2 KID Monday. I think we are much in need of an update for him in Vintage. Next, Endor Rebel Commando. And this looks good. He's got a swappable head, the way they did the swappable head on the Hoth Trooper. And, yeah, looking pretty good. If the paint apps look anything like the likeness in these photos, yeah, really nice. Next, we have the Scout Trooper helmet, electronic helmet. And, gotta tell you, this looks pretty good. As many of you probably know, I'm in the 501st, and my primary costume is a biker scout. So if I wasn't already in the 501st, I would probably be all over this because it does look very, very nice. Uh, just a reminder for people that the inside of these, even though it looks padded, it's all hard plastic. It's all just injection molded hard plastic. So if you wanted to wear this as a costume piece, you're probably going to want to put some sort of padding inside it. Other than that, it is what it is. I think a lot of people are excited. I've been seeing a lot of comments from people that, this is kind of the helmet they were waiting for because we got a lot of Boba Fett and Clone and Boba Fett and Clone and Stormtrooper repaints for a while. So this is something entirely new, tooling wise. Next, we have Retro Collection. They're doing the prototype Mandalorian, where it's all the different rainbow Skittle colors, and yeah, I don't get the idea. I can see doing one of these prototype figures, and that's it. I don't see the point in all these releases of other characters. I mean, now you're even talking about new media. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Next up, we have our pipeline reveals. So for the vintage collection, we have Book of Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker training outfit. I'm sure some people will love to get this. This is an easy, easy pass for me. Luke from the end of Mandalorian Season 2 is also an easy pass for me. Why? Well, to me, it looks like his Return of the Jedi outfit. I know it's different. I just don't think it's different enough. Easy pass. Then we have a 2-pack Obi-Wan and Battle Damaged Vader. I liked Obi-Wan well enough, but I didn't pick up the Obi-Wan figure because to me, he didn't look that much different than him in his regular Jedi outfit. So it's one of those things where you have 2 or 3 outfits that look very, very close to the same thing. A lot of times I'm like, I don't really care. It looks close enough. The Vader is probably just a repack with some minor tooling changes to the helmet, maybe some extra paint apps or something, to the Dark Times Vader, which I bought 2 of those because that was an excellent, excellent update. Next, we also have Speeder from The Mandalorian. I think we all knew this was coming. They already announced the Speeder Bike and Biker Scout, so really all they need to do is a simple repaint on the Speeder Bike and give the Biker Scout a bag. Whether or not it will have Grogu in it, I don't know if they said, because I did not watch the live stream. There are a couple minor differences to the Biker Scout itself. One, they have their knee pads on the wrong way. They're upside down. And their cummerbund with the pouches across the belly is sagging, where you shouldn't see any black jumpsuit between the cummerbund and the armor. And I don't know if, when those Biker Scouts were getting dressed in The Mandalorian, if someone just got things wrong, or that was supposed to show that the Empire had kind of gotten lazy. Theories abound. I'm sure if they include even so much as the little bag, let alone a Grogu, it'll probably cost even more than the regular Speeder Bike and Biker Scout, which I already am passing on because of the price, quite honestly. It's a price grab. Next we have the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. This is a maybe for me. I think I would have to see it first, because I don't even have a regular Naboo Starfighter right now. I'm limited on space, a big vehicle. I don't know. I think it's going to have to be loaded with a lot of interesting features to get me on board for that. Next, we have pipeline reveals for Retro Collection. I'm going to work backwards on this here. We get the Mandalorian with the Darksaber. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the image they provided. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be from Book of Boba Fett or from Season 2. Next, we have Grogu, of course. Jedi Luke Skywalker. Again, it looks like it's from Book of Boba Fett, where he's training. And then the last one, which really grinds my gears, is Cad Bane. My gosh, Hasbro, please would you release Cad Bane in Vintage Collection? We've gotten him in animated form. We've gotten him in more realistic form in the 6-inch in 3 different releases. Now we're going to get him in Retro Collection. The fact he has not even been announced in Vintage Collection, quite frankly, Hasbro's given us the finger, I think. The Vintage Collection fingers are straight up getting the finger if they like Cad Bane. Also for Retro Collection, we have Nomad Boba Fett from Book of Boba Fett. We are getting him in Vintage. That's if you drop a bunch of money on an overpriced Slave 1. Once again, screw you, Hasbro. We're getting a Tusken Raider. This looks like a basic Tusken, not the Chief, not anyone specific, just a basic one. Fennec Shand and Chrysanthemum. Once again, Chrysanthemum, we need him in Vintage. Stop it. Stop it with the retro. Alright, and then we have, for the Black Series Pipeline reveals, Luke Skywalker and Grogu, 2-pack, once again training from Book of Boba Fett. Deluxe Darth Malgus, which I'm not sure what makes him deluxe. I'm assuming just because he is a big and bulky character, they're going to upcharge him. If you expect to see any fancy extra stuff with him, don't hold your breath. He's bulky, and right now for Hasbro, that is enough for them to upcharge. A shame. And then finally, Ahsoka Loyalist helmet, which is the Clone Trooper helmet with the Ahsoka paint scheme. Once again, them going back to the well on the same Clone Trooper helmet with a different paint scheme. Snore. That's all I can say. And that just about does it. Again, this is just my hot take, my opinions on everything. Obviously, you might think differently. I'll see you later.